In this video, I'm going to expose the top 3 traits to every single successful copywriter. Now, every single copywriter that I've ever coached that's had some crazy success has had these traits. Every single copywriter that I've met and known across my journey as a copywriter has had these traits. And the second I started embodying these traits was the second that my copywriting business turned around. Well, when I went from earning just like 3K a month to earning 10 plus grand every single month. Okay, so this is exactly how you're going to do it. And these are the traits that you need to embody if you want to become a successful copywriter. Okay, now the first one is you need to be resilient. All right, you're going to face a lot of setbacks, you're going to face a lot of hardships, you're going to face a lot of 12-hour days when you're trying to get things going. You're going to face a lot of rejection and a lot of people laughing at you and your friends not understanding what you're doing. So you have to be resilient. Okay, like even me doing this content and stuff, the one person or the two people that actually roast me for doing this are people within my family. Okay, so you have to be resilient to things like that as well, because your family's not going to get it. All right, but more specifically, in order to see success as a copywriter, the reason why resilience is so important is because you need to be able to seek failure. Okay, learning new skills, making yourself look like an idiot by taking on deals that maybe you can't handle yet. Like seeking that failure is absolutely essential. And you want to do this as fast as possible, because the quicker you fail, the quicker you learn. There's that quote where it's like, if you knew that success was on the other side of 50 failures, how fast would you be looking to fail? Now, it's so true. Now, it's like, this is where like perfectionists get left behind, because someone that's just an action taker, they might have taken like 10 actions and learned 10 times before a perfectionist has even taken one action. Okay, so someone that's resilient can seek failure without it really affecting them. And that's why, the resilient copywriters make it a lot faster and a lot easier, because they learn so much quicker and get in their stride. Right. The next thing, again, is the consistency. You need to have resilience so that you can remain consistent even on the days when things aren't going in your favor, when you're sending hundreds of cold emails and not getting a reply, when a client says they're leaving. You need to stay consistent for the long term. And that's exactly why you also need a long-term mindset. Okay, now if you don't have a long-term mindset, you're not going to bother building a personal brand. If you don't have a long-term mindset, you're not going to bother about retention and like building connections. And if you don't have a long-term mindset, then you're not going to set yourself up for success with the right foundations to actually scale predictably for the long term in this industry. Okay, so without these 3 things that again are sort of under the resilience trait, you're going to really struggle as a copywriter. So make sure you're embodying these to the full effect. All right, the next one is you need to be tough. Similar to the first one, okay? You're going to face a lot of rejection. You're going to face a lot of no's. You're going to face a lot of like spikes and basically like roller coaster of emotions, because this game is a roller coaster. One day you're up, the next you're down, and until you sort of stabilize and find your foot, you find your feet in this industry, you know, there are tough days, and anyone that's making it seem super simple, super easy, they're selling you a dream. Okay, and everyone that I coach and everyone that I work with understands that there's work that goes into this. Sure, on the other side, you can live a great life, but first it sucks and it is tough. But again, that's why no one can do it. Remember, it's the same for any industry. 1% always climbs to the top. You don't get like every single footballer on a pitch as good as Cristiano Ronaldo, but not everyone wanted to do the extra training that Ronaldo did. So it's like you have to be tough. You have to be willing to go through the setbacks, make the sacrifices, go through the hardships, go through the hard days. And again, you have to be dedicated to do that. So in order to basically go through the dips and all of the tests required for you to become a good copywriter, you need to be tough and you need to have dedication to go through those dips. Okay, and in order to speed this up, again, seek rejection, because if you knew that you had to send 1,000 cold outreach emails to land your first client, how quick would you start sending emails? You wouldn't care if people said no. You wouldn't care if people told you to piss off, but you just basically want to send emails, send emails, send emails, so you could get those no's faster and eventually get to the yes. All right. And the only way you're going to do that is with thick skin. So you need to have thick skin. You need to be dedicated. I recommend seeking rejection as fast as possible so you get over it. But in order to do all that, you need to be tough. Okay. Very similar to, some of the traits in the first one. But again, it's all like around this same sort of concept of we need this long term mindset. You need to be consistent. And in order to remain consistent and have this long term vision in the game, you need to be tough. You need to be resilient. Okay, and the final trait here is basically you need to be a problem solver, because you can't be the sort of copywriter that wastes weeks on the same problems. You can't be, a copywriter with a client where you're putting the problem solving on the client. You have to be someone that comes with solutions. You need to be forward thinking. You need to be proactive. You want to solve your problems with speed so that you can get feedback fast. The faster your feedback loop, the quicker you will succeed. Okay, so just to recap, you need to be resilient so that you can remain consistent, seek failure, and have a long-term mindset in this game. You need to be tough so that you can actually stay dedicated, and seek rejection with tough skin so it doesn't phase you. And you need to be a problem solver that's solving problems with speed, getting as much feedback as fast as possible, and always being proactive and looking for the best way to solve your own problems. Because no one else wants you to succeed as much as you want to succeed. No one else is going to do the work that's actually required other than you. So I suggest you take on these 3 traits as soon as possible and be like all of the other copywriters that have made it once they started embodying these traits. If you're serious about scaling your copywriting business, you think you can embody the traits that you see on screen now, and you're actually ready to take action today, then feel free to book in a call in the link in the description. If not, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, and take care, because I'll see you in the next one.